Hello everyone, it's Petra here. I'm so pleased to be finally making these videos. You can see Molly in the background there, our puppy, who's probably going to be barking and making a fuss. Anyway, I'm thrilled to be back. It took me a while to get used to this craziness that we're in. Quite wobbly and weak to begin with, I'm sure you were too, and so I'm back now to help you and share some of the things that I think might really help you right now as we're still getting used to this new lifestyle, and we're also maybe still a bit in shock, and our bodies and our systems and minds are all over the place. So I think a nice place to start, this is going to be a very short video. You can do these moves in 3 or so minutes anywhere, and it's for anyone. And I thought we'd focus on releasing tension through the lower back and shoulders, two places that pretty much everyone suffers from pain and tension at any one time. So we've done these moves before. I'm just going to slightly deepen your understanding of how to do them, so that you can start to really get them to work for you at any time. So for example, if you do them in the morning, it'll be slightly different than in the evening. If you're feeling incredibly tense and tender, then you're going to be doing this a lot more gently, for example. So we've talked a lot about forward folds. I go on about bending the knees, and I go on about the spine, which we feel often is straight, but actually each vertebra has the ability to articulate in many different directions, in all directions really, including twisting. And for the purpose of the lower back release, I'd like you to visualize your forward bend from your torso. So you've got your bent knees, and your thighs are going to be at this angle, and they're going to be your landing strip for when you come down with your torso and your spine's going to land on your thighs and use your thighs as a support, so that when you come to release the weight through your spine, and gravity begins to take your vertebra downwards and separate them, your thighs are there as a support, so that that's not too strong. So if this is your spine and we hinge forward, okay? That's not actually what happens. It's not what we want to happen in this case. We want the lower vertebra to go first, and then the rest of the vertebra. Okay, so a different way of describing that to you is using these knee pads. So this lower knee pad represents your thighs, the landing strip of your thighs, and here's your torso coming straight up. And then we think often we're coming into a forward fold. This would be a straight spine forward fold, and we're not going to be doing that. We really want to focus on the lower vertebra coming down first, so that you're focusing mentally on the feeling of those lower vertebrae coming down. Lower belly starts to come towards the thighs, mid belly starts to come down, chest starts to come down, and finally your head here hanging the extra weight to draw the spine down. This is going to benefit your whole back. Any back pain, any back tension is going to be benefited. But for our purposes today, I want you to focus on that lower back leading, so that you can actually feel the pressing down and the space coming there. So every time we're going to come back up, and then we're going to come again. And every time we come down, if you watch the bottom of this pad here, starts here at the top, and I want you to imagine this vertebra lengthening each time, so it comes a bit lower down. And each time the vertebrae are literally moving away from each other. I mean, I'm exaggerating that, but that's the feeling that you're aiming for, is you're moving your belly lower each time. Lower into the top of the thighs. Okay, and you could even exaggerate it and sort of do it like that almost. Okay, and that's going to, over time, give your body the time to release, because the back not only is used to being upright, the vertebrae are not only used to being stacked upright like this and being pressurized downwards, they also you'll also contain a lot of tension there through stress, through the lower back, through the hips, going all the way up into the upper back, just general stiffness and tension is going to solidify that sense of compression, so that when you come into this bend, it takes time, and it can feel very strong if you've got a lot of tension. So let's start this. We've got a few minutes left. We're going to do the 3 minutes that you can do at any one time together now. We're going to start by loosening out the shoulders, and then go into the back bends, and then come down to the floor and do another nice back bend and shoulder opener. So we know this one. You just bring your right arm up in front of you, and then your left arm underneath, and marry up the right elbow with the left elbow, so on top of each other like this. And then straight away here, you can straighten out the right forearm and to the side, and your left forearm straight up, and start to squeeze your hands, this hand in front of you, towards your face, and you should immediately feel quite a strong opening through the back of the shoulder there, and nice and strong here, and breathe. Keep moving the right shoulder joint down and back, and breathe into the tension that you're feeling, into the areas where you've solidified over time. Good, and then you can just bring the hands into your eagle shape. So just interlace the wrist, the upper hand in front around the wrist of the other arm, and just use that bind here in the fingers to deepen that sensation. So now it feels quite a lot stronger, and then it's a nice idea to close the eyes and really think about what adjustments you can make to make this more beneficial. And every breath, this is very strong for me because I hold a lot of tension through my left shoulder joint, as I've told you before, shoulder blade area. And release, and just shake. Do that on the other side. First of all, getting this this forearm coming up, the upper arm coming across your body very strongly by hinging it in with this hand coming towards your face. And all your focus and your breath, mental and breath focus, is in that left shoulder joint, moving back and down and breathing space right the way across through the front of the arm and going into the back. And then you can interlace the fingers for the spine and use that relationship to go deeper. Good. And then you can gently release. Okay, and we'll come to standing now. And I'm just going to remove my socks. Okay, hope you can see me and hear me. I'll stand a little bit here. And we're going to do our nice shoulder openers. So simple, just raising the arms above your head. But consider the palms. Let your palms come outwards, quite strongly pointing outwards. You can feel that in the shoulder joint. And as you inhale, you can slowly raise the arms up. The hands can come behind you, opening through the chest and up. Look up. Right the way between your hands, and as you exhale, lower the chin down to the chest. So you're incorporating the neck and shoulders into this. Palms facing down as you come down. Opening the palms. Inhale. And exhale. Last one, and as you lower, just bring your fingers behind your back, interlace them and move the knuckles away from you, and focus completely now on the shoulder joints moving together and down. And you're opening through the front of the chest and feeling proud and strong, and that you understand what your body needs. When we feel anxious and depressed, the shoulders come forwards and we just bring them back. Good, last breath here and release. Take a little shake. Okay, this is super quick little practice. So right away, I'm just assuming now that we're feeling a bit weak and we want to come into this quick forward bend for our lower back. So right away, you can begin to, oh, the light's just gone off, never mind. Begin to bend your knees. Feel that your knees are above your toes in space, and just start to hinge forward and feel that you're going to bring your belly down to your thighs as soon as possible. If that means bending your knees more, you can. And you can also bring a blanket or cushion into the space between your thighs and belly if it's just too much without, and use that as your landing strip. And then start to move your lower belly down. See how I'm sort of curving my spine already to get the lower back, lower vertebra to extend and soften into the blanket or thighs. And here you can take the elbows to the knees, you see, because you're more interested in the lower back being supported and lengthening. And then let the head come heavy. Feel free to move around on your feet a little bit, side to side, forwards and back. Hands to knees, inhale, straighten the spine, straighten the legs. When you're ready, go again and get that sense of moving forward through the belly again and spine. So your ribs are moving lower into the thighs now. Hands maybe come down. Again. From here, incorporate the shoulders, bring the hands above you, interlace the fingers, move the knuckles towards the sky, let your head be heavy. And use the weight of your hands as ballast to draw even more space in between the lower vertebra, the lower back. You can feel yourself heavier now. You've got the weight of the head and the weight of the arms and hands to draw you forward. You can even lift and go again. And then hands to the floor and just come down to all fours. Good, and just take a moment here. And this one's a lovely one for the back and the shoulders. So just remember, we just move the hands forwards. Just keep your bottom above your knees, more or less. But you can move a little bit, but just roughly, keeping this bit straight. And then hands shoulder width, move them forward until you're bowing down through your heart. And again, you've got this sense of hanging off your thigh, off your hips, resting the forearms and the head. Bring your head onto a temple if it's more comfortable, or the forehead. If the forehead doesn't reach down, put a blanket or block beneath your head. Take a few breaths there to get a sense of heaviness through the heart and opening through the shoulders, hanging and surrendering. It's very nice for anxiety. You just have to surrender there over and over and over again. And then it's nice to bring the hands together into prayer in front of you if you can, if your shoulders allow. And the hands can come above your head. Move around through the elbows, through the bottom. And then come back to all fours. And then bring the knees wide, big toes together, child's pose. Again, lovely to hang the spine forward towards the earth. Bring your head onto a temple. All forward like this, if the head doesn't reach down, the fists. But you really want that sense of letting go through the hips and lower back. just those few minutes. If you want to add, I really like to do a sitting forward bend just to get more, it's the same as a standing forward bend, but this time you have the floor to keep the legs straight. So this time it's going to be a lot about the back of the legs and thighs, which have something to do with the back, of course. So when you come into your forward fold here, you can come in with one leg at a time. And you get the sense of stretching through the back of the straight leg, beyond the bottom and up into the back. So you get that sense of stretching through the back again. This time not just the lower back but the entire back, because you've got gravity moving the back downwards. So you can inhale the arms up and again get that sense of moving the belly forward and then bowing down over the straight leg. Letting go and surrendering. And what I love about these forward bends is there's a real sense of reassurance through surrendering, because this situation is out of our control and resisting it is just making things worse. So we're just letting go towards the earth, towards something bigger that knows better, knows more than we do. Inhale the arms back up. Exhale down, change legs. And bow down in respect. Feel the breath stretching out your back of your leg. If it's too strong, just slightly come out of the pose and find that lovely sweet spot. You really want to relax through the shoulders and back for this, through the face. A few breaths there, inhale up, exhale the hands down. If you like, take a few minutes lying on your back if you've got the time. Remember, you don't need a special outfit or a special mat or a special time to do yoga. You can do it in the utility room. You're thinking, oh, my back, and you just come into one of those forward folds for a few breaths, and you just really help yourself to keep that tension moving out of your body, getting the poisonous stiffness out, and give yourself that tender, loving care. I hope you enjoyed that. Namaste. See you soon.